Some countries and regions have legislations that require unit prices to be displayed, but the Consumer Council thinks legislation might not be the most suitable practice for Hong Kong. Celine Chan, TVB News.
Those visiting this year's Wine and Dine Festival will get to try this bottle of sauce aroma baijiu originating from Guizhou, which includes alcohol from at least 3 decades ago. Besides this type of Chinese liquor, visitors at the events will also get to taste an assortment of drinks originating from France, Spain, and Georgia. Timothy Li, TVB News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Chief Executive John Lee is set to unveil his third policy address tomorrow. The spotlight will be on enhancing the city's development and improving people's livelihood. It's understood the policy address will include measures to help young people buy subsidized housing. They reportedly include extra ballots for young applicants to purchase flats under the home ownership scheme. 9 monkeys have died over the past 2 days in the zoological and botanical gardens. Chief Executive John Lee said the government has convened an interdepartmental meeting over the issue and is working to find out the cause of their death. Beijing blames the Philippines as Manila's Office for Fishing accuses a Chinese boat of sideswiping a vessel in the South China Sea. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported Canberra is seeking security assurances from Papua New Guinea in return for backing the Pacific country's bid to have its own team in the Australian National Rugby League. UN peacekeepers are staying in southern Lebanon as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu again urged them to move away from his forces. David Garrett reports. In the U.S., the 2 presidential nominees took their fight for battleground state Pennsylvania to opposite ends of the state on Monday. Vice President Kamala Harris zeroed in on former President Donald Trump's recent comments that suggested the military could be used to deal with the enemy within, referring to what he called radical left lunatics. Harris said Trump poses a danger because he believes those who do not agree with him are the enemy. Tracy Furness has more. And still ahead. Welcome back. Premier Li Qiang met with his Pakistani counterpart in Islamabad and pledged to build the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor into a demonstration project under the Belt and Road Initiative. Li is slated to lead a high-level Chinese delegation to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting starting tomorrow. Danny Zhou has the story. North Korea has blown up sections of inter-Korean roads and rail lines on the side of the heavily fortified border between the 2 Koreas. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft on Monday blasted off atop a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket from Florida. It will embark on a 6-year quest to one of Jupiter's moons, Europa, to examine whether it has conditions suitable to support life. It's believed that below Europa's outer shell of ice is a large, salty ocean. This report from NBC News. Meanwhile, China has unveiled its medium and long-term development plan for space science. It aims to become a space science powerhouse by 2050, with projects to explore habitable planets for humans. The Consumer Council found out that a significant number of retailers have been taking advantage of downsized products to conceal price hikes. Celine Chan tells us more.
Some countries and regions have legislations that require unit prices to be displayed, but the Consumer Council thinks legislation might not be the most suitable practice for Hong Kong. Celine Chan, TVB News.
And the Hong Kong Wine and Dine Festival will be held in Central from Wednesday to Sunday next week. The number of booths in the China Pavilion has doubled compared with last year. With a liquor tax cut possibly announced in the upcoming policy address, some Chinese alcohol distributors believe the measure is unlikely to benefit their business. Timothy Li tells us more.
Those visiting this year's Wine and Dine Festival will get to try this bottle of sauce aroma baijiu originating from Guizhou, which includes alcohol from at least 3 decades ago. Besides this type of Chinese liquor, visitors at the events will also get to taste an assortment of drinks originating from France, Spain, and Georgia. Timothy Li, TVB News.
Over to sports. The New York Mets thumped the Los Angeles Dodgers 7-3 to level their National League Championship Series at a game apiece. Meanwhile, the New York Yankees beat the Cleveland Guardians 5-1 to claim victory in their American League Championship Series opener. And that's the news. Thank you for watching.